I had just divorced my husband when I discovered I was pregnant. Before the procedure, I dreamed of finally regaining my freedom once I left the operating room. But suddenly, the lights went out. As I tried to understand what was happening, my entire life flashed before my eyes. In that future, after my divorce, I met a new man through my parents' arrangement. Less than 6 months later, my parents died in a car accident, and my new husband abandoned me without mercy. I ended up begging on the streets, searching for food in garbage bins. Just as I finally found some, another beggar snatched it from my hands. When I thought I had truly hit rock bottom, I saw my ex-husband, elegant, powerful, and confident. I had left him when he was ruined, but now he had rebuilt his empire. In front of reporters, he declared, "The person I want to thank most for my success is my ex-wife, the one who left me when I had nothing." Devastated, I tried to approach him, but he seemed completely out of reach now. I woke up from this nightmare in a panic. Terrified that it might become reality, I fled the operating room and ran to find my ex-husband, desperate to remarry him. But I discovered that since the divorce, he had left me the villa and moved into the old, rundown family house himself. Determined to win him back, I carefully prepared myself, but soon realized that another woman was already secretly by his side. I stepped back and instead tried to get close to one of his business partners, hoping to make myself useful to his career. But the memory of my dream haunted me, the miserable life that awaited me. Desperate, I called him. He looked at me coldly before walking upstairs. I hadn't expected such indifference. Heartbroken, I was about to leave when he came back down after seeing off his associate. I thought he was going to give me a second chance, but he simply asked me to leave. I didn't blame him. After all, I was the one who had wanted the divorce, and now I was the one begging to come back. Wouldn't he find me pathetic? A tear rolled down my cheek as I begged him to believe in my sincerity this time. But he only replied, "It's over between us." My heart shattered. Not knowing how else to make him stay, I threw myself into his arms, speaking of my deceased parents, confessing that I had missed him ever since the divorce. But he, too deeply hurt, thought I was just playing with him again. "I don't want to be your toy anymore," he said. Back home, I thought about everything. He had remembered all my preferences, endured all my whims, and I had never once thanked him. Realizing my mistakes, I decided to sincerely win him back. I remembered my sick grandmother in the hospital, whom I had never wanted to visit out of disgust. This time, I bought nutritional supplements and went to see her. We spent time together under the sun. But I narrowly missed seeing my ex-husband, who had come to transfer his grandmother to another facility. As I was leaving, I suddenly felt nauseous at the smell of greasy food. The grandmother immediately suspected I was pregnant. Too weak to continue, she let me rest for a moment on the sidewalk. But when I returned, she had vanished. Panicking, I searched everywhere and ran into my ex-husband. He thought I had abandoned the elderly woman. The grandmother later explained that I had taken care of her sincerely, but he refused to believe it. Still, seeing my injuries, he felt an unfamiliar pain in his chest. Despite that, he said coldly, "I never want to see you again." Later, he found his grandmother under a tree, praying for me. Then, he realized he had judged me wrongly. He rushed to find me and saw me still searching desperately for the old woman. He caught me just before I collapsed and told me the grandmother was safe. Relieved, I fainted. When I woke up, I was in his house. I thought maybe he had finally softened, but he told me he would be leaving the city that very evening. No matter how much I begged, nothing could make him stay. Crying, I went out into the pouring rain, refusing the offer of a driver. I decided to try my luck one last time. If he saw me on the road to the airport, maybe his heart would remember me. Soaked and trembling, I walked along the route he would take. He saw me, but what could he still offer me? He didn't want me to suffer with him again. And I understood, finally, the answer I had been dreading. I fell to my knees in the mud, devastated. It was then that I heard familiar footsteps approaching behind me.